Welcome to day number 9 of 12 days of Itch.y, a series where I go over 12 random horror games that I find on various websites and I tell you about them one day at a time, all the way leading up to Christmas. So this is a demo for what I can only assume to be a full-length horror game, and while I do think that the presentation in this is actually pretty well done for what appears to be a couple of devs' first game, or at least their first published game, unfortunately, I just don't think that this game is entirely for me. The premise of Bloody Hills is incredibly simple, as it's pretty much just a knockoff of Friday the 13th. Going as far as to have a bloody hockey-masked killer chasing you around a campsite. I don't mind a knockoff game like this, as it feels more like a love letter than someone actively trying to be malicious in their fan service or anything of that nature. The gameplay is unfortunately really not my cup of tea when it comes to horror games, or at least I don't find it well crafted enough for me to really get much out of this. Bloody Hills takes after the Alien Isolation style of horror game where you're defenseless and are more or less at the killer's whim. You also have to maintain a battery meter on your flashlight, a health meter, and a stamina meter that has a brutal cooldown time. Like I said before, I'm not really into this style of horror game, and I didn't download this demo to hate review this or anything like that, because I didn't really know exactly what kind of game it was when I downloaded it. But while I personally don't think that the demo showcases anything inherently wrong with the idea or the concept, the difficulty of this demo is just a bit too much for me, and I honestly couldn't get very far in it at all. I died about 4 or 5 times, and while dying in a horror game is pretty standard fare, the checkpoint system is just far too harsh for me to keep dying and restarting that many times. To get back to where I kept dying would take upwards of 3 to 5 minutes, especially because, on top of everything, items that you need to progress seem to randomize. It happened just one time, but that does mean that it can happen again. But I want to make it clear that despite all I've said about this and how negative I do seem to be about it, I wanted to bring it up in this year's 12 Days of Itch.y because I'm sure that there is someone out there who isn't aware of this game that will definitely be into this. And it's for that person that I am making this video. It's just unfortunately not my cup of tea.